Hi, my name is Mariam Chohan. I'm a student at the Chicago School of Professional Psychology, and Dr. Lilienfeld is my supervisor. Today I'll be doing your intake. Should take around 50 minutes. I'll be asking some background questions and be taking notes. Any questions about that?
No.
So I just want to go over some limits of confidentiality. Everything you tell me will remain confidential, unless you tell me that there's imminent danger of you hurting yourself or somebody else. I do have to report that. If you tell me there is anything about child abuse or elder abuse, I have to report that as well. And if for whatever reason a court mandates records, I do have to release that information. Any questions about that?
No.
Okay. I will also be recording this session. You can see there's cameras around the room. This is just for me and my supervisor to review how the session goes and how I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And once it's reviewed, the tapes will be destroyed.
Okay.
Any questions about that?
No.
Okay. So why don't you tell me what brings you in today?
So I just noticed that over the past couple of months, I just haven't been feeling like myself. I just feel like I've been more tired and kind of like down and really struggling with finding the motivation to do everyday activities.
So you said it's been going on for about the past couple of months, like 2 months or 3 months?
I started in July.
So it's 3 months. And you said you're feeling tired and down, no motivation. Would you say this is every day or occurs kind of infrequently or?
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
And how much of the day do you feel like that?
Like all day, from like when I wake up to when I go to bed.
Have you noticed any changes in your weight?
I haven't really been weighing myself. I think my appetite changed, but I'm just not really caring about what I weigh these days.
So has your appetite increased or decreased?
It's like the same, but just the food that I'm eating is different. So normally I would eat kind of really healthy, like salads and whatnot, and now I just don't care, and I'm just kind of more about convenience. So I've been eating like grilled cheese from like the cafeteria, or like ordering takeout with my fiance. And
Yeah. So you said that you have been eating kind of like what's convenient. Do you feel like you've been too busy to pay attention to what you're eating?
No, I just feel like I'm tired and don't really feel like prepping my food or packing my lunch. Or,
okay. So kind of like a lack of motivation to do that. Okay. And what about your sleep? Has there been any changes?
I feel like no matter how much sleep I get, it's never enough. Just so tired.
And how much sleep would you say on average you've been getting for the past 4 months?
Probably like 12 hours every night. Like whether, not every night, but like whether I take a nap when I get home from work or go to bed pretty early, but then just trying to sleep as much as possible.
Okay. And no matter how much you sleep, you still feel tired?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so you said you are napping during the day?
Yeah, so I'll come home from work before my fiance, and I'll just sit on the couch, fall asleep watching Netflix, and then he'll come home. We used to like make dinners together and like look at new recipes that were healthy and try different things, but the idea of cutting vegetables or preparing dinner is just too much.
Mm-hmm. And so you said that you live with your fiance. Mm-hmm. Is it just the two of you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Has he noticed any changes in your behavior?
He just thinks I'm really tired and like kind of lazy.
So he thinks it's just you being lazy.
Yeah, so he's not there in the mornings when I wake up for work, so he doesn't know that I kind of sleep up until like the last possible minute
Mhm.
before I have to get out the door. And he kind of only sees it on the weekends. And normally we would go hiking or camping, and we still do those things. But he can definitely see that I'm like not quick to roll out of bed, or like it takes a lot to like get up and get that first cup of coffee. And
Mhm. Right.
yeah, so he's like, "What's your deal? Like, why are you so tired? Like, you went to bed early last night."
Yeah. So he definitely sees the
but
tiredness.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So have you ever felt like this before?
Yeah, a couple times. When I was 18, and then again when I was 23.
So can you tell me a little bit about what happened when you were 18?
I had just started college, and I was feeling really overwhelmed with everything changing, like classes, being far from like my parents, going to school, and then I felt like this, but I feel like it was worse then.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Okay. So the same kind of symptoms, or were there other things going on as well?
I just had these thoughts about it'd be easier if I wasn't here.
Okay. So you had thoughts of like ending your life?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you ever, was it always just thoughts, or did you ever, act on it?
When I was 18, I had thoughts. I didn't like actually have like a sound way of doing it that I thought would be, I guess, I don't want to say worth it, but would do the job.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was 23, I had like another incident where I actually tried.
Okay. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so I was driving with my fiance in the car and we were arguing. And I don't remember what we were arguing about, but I just remember it was being really, really intense. And he was yelling and I was yelling. And I just kept thinking, if I wasn't here anymore, this wouldn't be happening. And if I wasn't alive, I wouldn't have to make any decisions anymore. And so he was driving down the road, and I opened the car door and just pushed myself out.
Okay. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough situation. And, arguing with someone you love is never fun. Okay. So what about now, since you're saying that you're kind of experiencing these kind of mood changes and similar kind of feelings again, have you had any suicidal thoughts the past few months?
No, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm here. I feel like I have, it could get worse, and right now I'm not there yet, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever, so we talked about, you've had suicidal thoughts before, and you've, tried to act on it once before. Have you ever had any instances of self-injury?
Mm-mm.
What about using any drugs or alcohol? In history of that?
I mean, I know drugs, but like I drank like a normal amount.
What's a normal amount?
2 to 3 nights.
Okay. 2 or 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
And how much do you normally drink when you drink?
Oh, I'll like split a bottle of wine with my fiance. Like I'm watching a movie, or we'll split a bottle of wine during dinner. Or if we go out to dinner, I'll have like 3 or 4 drinks.
Okay. And is that, that's kind of how much you drink right now, with the depressed mood and everything? Mm-hmm. And how about before you were feeling like this? Was it about the same?
About the same, yeah.
Okay. And when you were younger, in college and stuff, was there drinking then? Was it the same?
I mean, I was in college, so I was drinking like 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
But it was a normal amount for
right.
a college student.
Okay.
If you go out, it's a couple beers, a couple shots.
Right. Um, so have you ever had any times where you've talked about you've been feeling kind of down lately and tired, but any times where you feel like you have a lot of energy or like your mood changes completely from being really tired to really energetic and really happy?
Like, I mean, with coffee, I feel like more energy, but not like it's for like a short period of time.
Right. But there's never been like 2 or 3 days where you feel like super like energetic and want to do a bunch of stuff. And, okay. And has anyone ever mentioned to you that maybe you like seeing something that's not there, or have you noticed that maybe you're hearing things that aren't really there?
No.
Okay. So you told me that you live with your fiance.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you guys been engaged?
For about a year.
Okay. And can you tell me a bit about your family?
Yeah, so my mom and dad got divorced when I was 10. I used to be really close with my grandmother, but she passed away when I was 12 from Alzheimer's.
Okay. Yeah. Any siblings?
No. My dad remarried, and so I have a half brother and a half sister, but I don't really like them. We don't talk. And I don't like his wife.
Okay. How's your relationship with your dad?
Not good. I feel like our relationship is essentially just he provides financial support, and that's the only reason we really talk. That's the only reason, like, sounds bad, but that's like my relationship with him.
And how long has he been remarried?
He got married when I was like 12, so 15 years.
And how's your relationship with your mom?
More recently, it's been stressful. We used to be really close, and now as I reflect back at kind of like my childhood, I feel like there were more responsibilities given to me earlier on, and I feel like I'm just more resentful of that as an adult. And when I started wedding planning in July, she just became really like overly involved and pushy with what she wanted, and so we're really not talking right now, and I'm not doing anything to open up that line of communication.
Okay. But you said, so was it before the wedding planning that things were better with her?
I mean, I feel like when we were growing up, or when I was growing up, she tried to be more of like my best friend as opposed to like a parent. And I mean, like, I love her, don't get me wrong, but I think things were building up to July. And then she got really kind of overly involved in trying to make decisions that weren't her decisions to make. Like, we were doing like flowers and dress colors, and she got very opinionated, and I just kind of snapped at her. But
and that was in July?
Yeah. Okay. But I haven't done anything to like reach out or apologize.
Okay. So you also said that was around the time when you started kind of feeling kind of down and stuff. Do you think that might have something to do with why you've been feeling?
My mom?
Yeah.
I don't know about my mom. I feel like the wedding planning
That's definitely add stress for sure.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of decisions to make.
And when is the wedding?
December 2020.
That's pretty soon. And so you said there's no siblings, and you live with your fiance. Do you have any other friends that you're really close to, or you feel
I
like
have
you
a
have
couple of friends locally.
Okay.
One of them in particular I'm really close with, and then I have a childhood friend who lives in California. so I don't see her often, but we just text a lot and keep in touch through social media.
Okay, that's good. And so do you feel like you have a good, like, social circle and support network?
Yeah, but they don't really know what's kind of going on.
Okay.
Just feel like I think my best friend knows that I'm tired, but she hasn't really doesn't really know to the extent of what I'm feeling.
Yeah. And you said that your fiance kind of knows, like, he knows you're tired and stuff.
Yeah, but again, I don't think he really knows.
Yeah, the extent of it.
Yeah.
And have you told anybody else?
No.
Okay.
No one really knows I'm here right now. So.
Okay. Really quickly want to circle back to a couple things. Have you noticed any, like, your thoughts are kind of feel like they're slower, or like your body's moving kind of slower?
Yeah, I just feel like I'm walking through like a pool. Just really like my body's like just so heavy, and yeah, it takes a lot to get up.
Yeah, so it probably doesn't make it easier when you're not motivated to get up and then you feel heavy too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's hard. And how's your concentration?
Oh, it's really hard to concentrate.
And you said you're in school, or you're working?
I'm working right now.
So you're having trouble concentrating when you're at work then? Okay. And what do you do?
I'm in medical sales.
And how long have you been doing that for?
About 4 years. I started working there when I was 23.
So right after college?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not my dream job, but I think there's room for kind of moving up in upcoming years. There's no available positions now, but it's a good job. It pays well.
Yeah.
So I don't see myself leaving anytime soon.
Okay. So would you say you're happy there, or just kind of tolerating it? Or?
I'm content there, but I don't know. The job's definitely been more difficult since I've been feeling off.
Yeah. Definitely. So, let's talk a little more about your family. Do you know if there's any history of depression or any kind of mental illness in your family?
I think my mom was sad after the divorce, but I was 10, so I don't really know. And after the divorce, like, she made me go to therapy, just to kind of, I don't know, process it, but I hated it.
So when you went for therapy, did they put you on any medication?
No.
And when you were feeling the same kind of symptoms when you were 18, and then again at 23, did you talk to anybody then?
So I did see someone when I was 23 after that incident. Yeah, I saw a therapist and I saw a psychiatrist. But the therapist was an ACT therapist, and I didn't really connect with her.
Mm-hmm.
I was in treatment for a year, but I don't feel like it did anything amazing.
Okay. But you did go regularly for that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what about your psychiatrist? How long did you see?
He put me on Wellbutrin.
Okay.
And I was seeing him for about 3 years when I was on the medication.
So you were on the medication for 3 years?
Yeah. And then I just stopped.
Do you remember the dosage?
Wellbutrin 150.
Okay. So why did you stop?
I just was feeling better. I feel like my symptoms improved. Everything was good. And yeah, I just felt like I didn't need it anymore, so there's no point taking it.
Okay. And that was
A year ago.
a year ago. So have you taken any other medications
No.
other than Wellbutrin? And right now, are you taking anything?
Mm-mm.
So you said that your mom was sad after the divorce, but you're not sure if that was just like
Yeah,
being sad or if that was something else.
Right.
Okay. What about your dad?
My dad, the only thing I know about him is he has cardiac disease,
Okay.
but I'm sure he has his own issues. I just am not aware of them.
Okay.
Nor do I want to be aware of them.
And I forgot to ask earlier also, do your parents live locally?
Yeah.
Both of them?
Yeah, they live, locally.
So is there anything that, I know we kind of talked about a lot of different things. Anything else that you want to tell me that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, there's been something on my mind. I haven't really told anyone. When I was 20, there was this like incident where I brought a guy back to my place one night after I'd been drinking, and it just kind of went farther than I wanted it to. And I feel like I did a really good job compartmentalizing back then, but maybe it's something that I should be kind of talking about
Mm-hmm.
now.
Okay. So can you tell me a little bit more about what happened?
So I was drinking at the bar with some of my girlfriends. I met this guy. Seemed nice, so I invited him back to my apartment. We were hooking up, kind of making out, and then I just wasn't into it. And so I told him like I wanted to stop, and it just went farther. And we had sex, and I didn't want to have sex with him, and I told him I didn't want to have sex with him, but it happened, and like it wasn't rape or anything, and I think it was like my fault because I was the one who invited him back, and I was drinking, so I put myself in that position. But I never really told anyone before, and I just feel like maybe it's something that I should unpack while I'm in therapy again.
Well, I'm really sorry that that happened to you, and that is not an easy thing to go through. So you said that happened when you were 20?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you kind of compartmentalized it, kind of.
I just never talked about it. I never brought a guy back home after that. Yeah, I didn't. If people knew, then I guess maybe it'd be more real. But I just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think, like now looking back, do you think it would have been helpful to talk to somebody about it?
I probably should have, but I don't know if I would have reported it or handled it any differently than I did.
Mm-hmm. now, with how you're feeling now, with these symptoms kind of coming back, did anything happen? You know, you said it started about a couple months ago in July, and is around this time your mother started getting involved with your wedding planning and everything. Did anything else happen around then that you think might have impacted your mood? And
No, I feel like it was July. It was supposed to be like summery and hot and warm, and we started planning for this wedding, and it was just a lot of decisions to make and a lot of like things that were just going to be permanent. So
yeah,
I think I got overwhelmed with that.
mm-hmm. So when you're saying you're feeling overwhelmed and things are kind of permanent, is there anything concerning you about? Is it the wedding, or is it more like the idea of being married?
I think it was just like, okay, we have to pick the venue, and there's no changing the venue after that, and excuse me, okay, we have to pick flowers, and that's like a lot of money, and just, and it's also just this whole thing is just a lot of money.
Yeah.
No one tells you how expensive weddings are going to be until you're knee deep in it. I absolutely want to marry my fiance. There's no doubt about that in my mind. I'm just like, there's just so many decisions that I have to make.
Yeah. And so you're the one, like, is your family helping you with that, or you're...
I mean, he's involved, but I feel like the wedding's more about the bride than the groom. So I think he just wants to, like, make sure that I'm happy with it, which I am, but I just wonder if I'm making the right choices, and are my bridesmaids going to like it, and is my family going to like it? Mm-hmm. Just a lot of pressure.
And I know you said that your mother has been, like, trying to get involved, and you kind of been feeling a little stressed out about that. Is she helping you with the wedding, or...
She was, and then I kind of, like, set a limit with how involved she was, and I haven't reached out, and I know she's aware of how I'm feeling about her. So.
Yeah. So was she helping out financially, or with the time?
My dad's helping financially.
Okay. I'm just looking over my notes and seeing if there's other things. So I know you did talk about, I want to go back to when you were in college a little bit more. I know you talked about when you started college, it was overwhelming, and you started feeling the same kind of feelings you're feeling now. How else was your college experience? Did you, other than the point when you were kind of feeling overwhelmed and low mood, did you have friends in college? Did you enjoy it? Did you do well in school?
I did well. I had like a 3.0. I mean, it was a good college experience. I had friends, and I'm still close with those girls today. I mean, I definitely did more impulsive things than I was drinking, but yeah, I just feel like I had a normal kind of college experience. We went out a lot, we had fun. There's not a lot of responsibility back then.
Yeah. So impulsive with drinking, like within, like when you were saying like normal amount of drinking, like normal amount of impulsive, or like...
Well, like I bring like guys back.
Right.
Okay. I don't think I would do that as a 27-year-old, you know? So I just think I was doing like young things.
Okay. And you have no, you don't remember having any feelings like low mood or depression or anything before 18?
No. My mom, like, always kind of described me as, like, a down kid or, like, sad kid.
Okay.
But I think I just had, like, a lot going on when I was younger. Just, you know, the divorce, my grandmother. And I just like to keep to myself. I did a lot of things alone. I had friends. And, I mean, I was invited to birthday parties and whatnot, but I think I just preferred my own time.
Okay. Do you feel like you still prefer kind of being more I guess, more introverted, or now do you feel like you're more social?
I think more
friends?
recently I've been more introverted, or like I just want to watch movies
Yeah.
and like chill. I like going out, and even like the camping and hiking on the weekends. I like doing those things. I know once I get outside, I'll feel better once I'm doing something. But it's just the whole like getting there. Like, I enjoy plans with my friends. I know once I get there, I'll have a good time.
Yeah.
It's just like getting there.
So you said you enjoy camping and hiking.
I let me kind of rephrase that. I enjoy camping because my fiance likes camping.
Yeah.
So I like spending time with him.
Right.
I would not choose
One
to
of the
do
things
that.
you do for him. Right. Okay.
I do like hiking though. That's really nice.
Okay. What other interests do you have?
I like reading, listening to podcasts. I used to be like really into running and like working out, but that kind of like changed. I'm just like too tired to do any of that.
And is that again the past couple months or before?
Yeah, in July. I was really like into like health and fitness and just kind of
So do you feel like there's any of your like normal interests that you still have motivation to do today, or you don't have the energy for it?
I just would rather watch TV. Just like not really thing. I'm just so tired after like the work day that I'm not really need to do any of those things.
So when you were, again, going back to when you were in college and you were saying that you were feeling overwhelmed and everything, was there any changes in your eating or sleep back then?
Yeah, I definitely was just kind of eating more crap from the dining hall.
Okay.
Like late night Domino's. You know, just, I don't know, I don't think there was anything maybe significant about it. I just wasn't eating like kind of how I like to eat.
Okay.
When I eat healthy, I feel better. I feel like...
Right. So it's very similar to how it is now. And your sleep is similar to how it is now, too?
Yeah, but I got away with more sleep because like I would make it to the majority of my classes. I had a couple of 8 a.m.s that I don't want to say I missed them, but I missed like just the right amount where I wouldn't get penalized for it. But I definitely got away with sleeping more in college, even on the weekends, because no one was there to like wake me up.
Yeah. Right. And then would you say that your sleep and eating was about the same when this happened when you were 23 as well?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
So when you mentioned earlier when you were 20 and you kind of had that, you said you brought a guy back to your apartment and, hooked up, and you said you didn't want to, and did you notice any changes in your mood or anything after that happened, or did you said you just compartmentalized it and you were fine with that?
I feel like it was the one time in my life that I just woke up the next morning and I was like, you're not going to think about it, you're not going to talk about it.
Okay.
It didn't happen, and yeah. I feel like, if anything, I overcompensated after that in a lot of different ways, like just trying to distract myself so I wouldn't have the opportunity to like ruminate about it.
Mm-hmm. Can you tell me more about that?
I would just like wake up early and like go for a run, or like try to kind of channel any thoughts into like physical activity.
Do you think that helped you to not think about it, or to kind of?
Yeah, I definitely think it helped with, definitely avoided the whole thing altogether.
Mm-hmm. And you said that you've never mentioned this to anyone before. Is it something that you've started thinking about again recently?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what, like, why?
I don't know what triggered it, or why now, but it definitely, I've just been wondering if I necessarily handled it the right way, or if I should have reached out to people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And would you say you started thinking about it around the time you started feeling down again? So, since you've been feeling down and lack of motivation and tired, have you been doing anything to try to combat that?
No, I feel like I've been trying to get as much sleep as I can. And I mean, like I said, I know when I go hiking or when I go out, I'll feel better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just getting there.
Yeah.
So maybe in the past I would have like tried to kind of like watch what I was eating, not necessarily to diet, but just because I know that I feel physically better when I eat healthy.
Yeah.
But I'm tired. It's a lot of work to prep my food, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So you're not like, I know you said your drinking hasn't changed, but you're not like drinking to try to like, feel better about anything or using any.
Definitely takes like the edge off.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if I'm drinking to feel better, but like definitely feel better when I'm drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
But you said your drinking hasn't increased.
It hasn't.
Yeah.
I've always been drinking like that.
Okay. Okay, I think I have all the information I need. Do you have any other questions for me or anything else you want to...
So do I start seeing you after the session, or?
So what will happen now is Dr. Lilienfeld and I will review this recording, and we'll talk, and then I think you'll start seeing, we'll discuss what the course of action is from there.
Okay.
Right. I just want to say, listen to everything you've told me and that I care. And thank you for everything you shared. I know a lot of things you shared were really difficult to talk about. And I know talking about it is, can be very uncomfortable. I appreciate you sharing that with me.
You're welcome.